Welcome to my channel MedLab. Today we'll study about chest X-ray. X-rays are electromagnetic radiations. X-rays are emitted by a machine, travel through the patient and are picked up by a receptor on the other side of the patient. Some of these rays are absorbed more than the other depending on the tissue through which they travel. This differential absorption allows for the creation of an image on radiographic film. In this image, air is black, bones are white, and the rest of the tissues fall on the spectrum in between. The chest X-ray is the most commonly performed diagnostic X-ray examination. A chest X-ray produces image of the heart, lungs, airway, blood vessels, and the bones of the spine and chest. A thorax located between the neck and the abdomen. The thorax includes thoracic cavity and the thoracic wall, supported by the rib cage, spine, shoulder girdle, and sternum. The content include lung, heart, diaphragm, esophagus, trachea, arteries, veins, muscles, and bones. This is a normal chest X-ray after determining the patient's identity, orientation, and quality, in which we see the rotation, inspiration, and penetration. We can now do analysis of the content of the thorax. Many structures of the chest are readily visible on a chest X-ray. The visible structures are 1 trachea, 2nd hilum, 3rd lung, 4 diaphragm, 5th heart, 6th aortic knuckle, 7th ribs, 8th scapula, 9th breast, 10 bowel gas, and many other invisible structures like sternum, esophagus, spine. We must check from the interior to exterior direction. It is important to look at every part of the pathology. Air on X-ray looks dark, so the lungs should look clear, not quite black because there is tissue but still quite dark. For example, if some densities are present in the lobes of lungs, it may signify pneumonia, but if their densities are present at the border, it represents malignancy. Examine for the trachea if it's midline or not, the bronchi and the hilar structures. The difference in density separates the lung from the diaphragm. Any fluid accumulation will lead to hiding of the costophrenic angle. The bones will appear white in the X-ray. If you can easily visualize vertebrae, pair of ribs, clavicle, always follow the edge of the bone. The bright edges represent the bone cortex. When we analyze an X-ray, the following details are very important: patient's full name and date of birth and other details, and the date and time when the X-ray was taken. Next is the orientation, where we check the position of the patient and the site description. The PA, which means the posterior anterior projection, is the standard frontal chest projection. The X-ray beams transfers the patient from the posterior to anterior direction. It is performed standing and in full inspiration, with the patient hugging the detector to pull the scapula laterally. The AP, which means the anterior posterior view, is obtained when the beam transfers from the anterior to posterior direction. It is used for bedridden patient and patient who are unable to stand erect for the PA view. The advantage of PA projection over the AP projection is that it gives excellent visualization and accurate measurement, but in AP the structures are far from the plate and cause a bigger shadow. The lateral view of the chest is performed erect, left lateral, examines the retrosternal and the retrocardiac spaces, allow assessment of the posterior costophrenic recesses. Right hemidiaphragm appears higher and more complete. Gastric bubble is under the left hemidiaphragm, and anterior left hemidiaphragm is less distinct due to cardiac silhouette. There are many other orientation. One is lateral decubitus. In lateral decubitus, the patient is lying either left lateral or right lateral on a trolley. Hand should be raised to avoid superimposing over the interest area. It shows air inside the lung, free fluid, and airway obstruction. To evaluate the quality of an image, you can use the mnemonic RIP, which stands for rotation, inspiration, and penetration. Rotation. To assess whether the patient is rotated, first direct your attention towards the medial aspect of the clavicle and compare the position of the left and the right medial clavicular joints to the spinous processes in the more central aspect of the image. If the position of the patient is straight and not significantly rotated, the distance between the medial margins of the left and the right clavicles and the central spinous process should be equal. Check adequacy of the inspiration, in which 5 to 6 anterior ribs, lung apices, both costophrenic angles should be visible. Penetration describes the extent to which the X-ray passed through the body. In an X-ray with good penetration, the vertebrae behind the heart are barely visible and the diaphragm can be traced up until reaching the edge of the spine. We will follow a checklist which goes from A to H to carry out structural interpretation of the chest X-ray. A stands for airway, B for bones, C for cardiac, D for diaphragm, E for equipment, F for fields of the lungs, G for gastric bubble, and H for hilar structures. A stands for airway, in which we see the trachea, carina, and bronchi. In airway, inspect the trachea for any deviation. Tracheas located centrally or deviating very slightly to right. If more deviation is visible, assess for pulling and pushing forces. Inspect for paratracheal mass or lymphadenopathy. Pushing force is because of large effusion and tension pneumothorax, and pulling force, which is because of lower collapse and atelectasis. Rotation must be assessed earlier to form any confusion in tracheal deviation. The carina is the point or level at which the trachea divides into the right and the left main bronchi. The carina is also the location where it is used by the healthcare providers when assessing the proper position of an endotracheal tube after intubation. Typically, the tip of the ET tube should be 3 to 4 cm above the carina so that both lungs are properly oxygenated. The right main bronchus is generally wider, shorter, and more vertically oriented than the horizontally oriented, longer left main bronchus. As a result, it is more common for the inhaled foreign objects to become lodged in the right side bronchial tree, as the route is more direct. Depending on the quality of the CXR, you may be able to see the main bronchi branching into further subdivisions of bronchi. The lungs are assessed and described by dividing them into upper, middle, and lower zones. Compare left with the right and compare the area of possible abnormalities with the rest of the lungs on the same side. Assess for asymmetry, decide which side is abnormal. Often a dense area is abnormal, such as the pneumonia or in lung cancer, but some disease can reduce density, such as in pneumothorax. Some disease result in bilateral lung abnormalities, making comparison of left and right difficult. B stand for bones. Bones are the densest structure visible on a normal chest X-ray. When you assess the bones on every chest X-ray, check for abnormalities on single bones and for diffuse bone disease. The bones visible on the chest X-ray include the clavicles, the ribs, the scapula, the spine, and the proximal humerus, which is also known as the upper arms. The sternum is also included on the frontal view, but it overlies other midline structures and so it is not visible. The spinous processes of the vertebra, the posterior structure, and the medial end of the clavicles, the anterior structures, are landmarks to assess the rotation. The clavicle and ribs act as a landmark when assessing the adequacy of inspiration taken by the patient. The anterior end of approximately 5 to 7 ribs should be visible above the point at which the mid-clavicular line intersects the diaphragm. Less than 5 ribs indicates incomplete inspiration and more than 7 ribs suggest hyperexpansion. A chest X-ray provides good view of the ribs and the clavicular fractures. Clavicular fractures usually at the middle third of the clavicle, which is easy to see in a chest X-ray. C stands for cardiac. This part involves heart and the surrounding structure. The cylode of heart should be identified and the heart border should be clear. In radiology, the cylode sign refers to the loss of normal borders between thoracic structures. It is usually caused by an intrathoracic radiopaque mass that touches the border of the heart or aorta. Inspect the borders of the heart, which should be well defined in a healthy individual. The heart borders may become difficult to distinguish from the lung as a result of various pathological processes, for example consolidation, which cause increased opacity of the lung tissue. The right atrium makes up most of the right heart border. The left ventricle makes up some of the left heart border with a contribution from the left atrium. The cardiac cylode should occupy 50% or less of the cardiothoracic width. For example, a cardiothoracic ratio of less than 0.5. This rule only applies for a PHS X-ray, not for a AP film because it exaggerates cardiac cylode size. If the heart occupies more than 50% of the thoracic width on a PA-CXR, then it suggests enlargement. The aortic knuckle represents the left lateral edge of the aorta as it arcs backward over the left main bronchus. The contour of the descending thoracic aorta can be seen in continuation from the aortic knuckle. Displacement or loss of definition of these contours can indicate disease such as aortic aneurysm or adjacent lung consolidation. The aortopulmonary window is located between the aortic knuckle and the left pulmonary artery. It is a space where abnormal enlargement of the mediastinal lymph nodes can be seen on a chest X-ray. In many cases, we can only tell whether the heart figure is normal or enlarged, and it will be difficult to say anything about the heart compartments. Rest of the content in the next video. The part left is D, E, F, G and H of the checklist. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.